Welcome to myprojectbazaar.com. Project title is an automated framework for incorporating news into stock trading strategies. Our modified title is optimize the centralization framework for the information on the stock market. The main contribution of the process is to introduce the new framework in stock trading approach for automatic exploitation of messages. For example, news business events. To extract the events without explanation from the message, what are needed that in text which are developed the extracted events under testing from the traffic approaches and the traffic gauge. To expose the developing events from side of genetic programming, which gives the similarity between the events which are present from the event collections based on the news extractions, for incorporating the message automatically and to enhancing the predicting and validating the message for most business or ambitious near information of current trends. The main source of communications are possible through news and business events. For current trend, the business events are mostly upgraded one. For managing the large number of increasing information about the current process through the news was difficult for manual knowledge and find out the validation between the informations about the current trends. To overcome these difficulties by process, this is in automation process. In our process, we give the automatic generations of the framework. Now we are going to discuss about the flow of the process. Initially we get the data from the events collections. The collected events are extracted based on their events. The events are specified on the basis of impacts which are involved in the process. The involved process are considered as a stock trading strategies which are extracted from the initial events. The trading strategies are collected as a individual process. Then collected process are extracted and based on the news. The news evaluations are given on the initial process of extraction of events. Then we find out the optimal trading strategies for the stock trading strategies based on the news trading strategies. Now the demo of the process. First right click the homepage.java and select run file. Select the data set. The selected data sets and their contents are viewed as like that. Then click process button, click strategies one. In this the items for the sales event. Then these are the items for the user definition who are sales on the separate sales. Then click extraction button, load data, select abnormal.returns, open. Then click show button. These are the abnormal average returns for the data statistics which are initially preferred as events. Then click update in database. The selected data are loaded in the database which are for extracting the database. Database are used for storing and retrieving the process what we are initially loaded and stored in the database. The values are shown. These are the events and the item impacts, then their frequencies values, and others are the number of values. Then click abnormal events. For abnormal returns, click data, then select abnormal returns data, click open button, then view. These are the abnormal returns for the one type of business type. Then these data are going to load on the database. Click load, then select insert data. The data are loaded in the database which is loaded as a separate format what we are giving in the previous frame. What are the abnormal returns? Then show the data which are stored in the database. These are the n number of data stored as the abnormal returns of the data, and the average returns of the data are for all the data which is performed on the n number of data which that are involved in the business strategies. Then click strategies. We should extract the average return for just x number of days from the n number of days. Extracting then click display button. These are the n number of data sets x days. For abnormal returns, the same procedure from the external returns. Click classifications, then click evaluate. These are the n number of data from x days, their values. Click average. This average was get from the events between the abnormal events and also the average events. Then these values are evaluated in the database as the x number of data for x days from the n number of data what are we initially included in the database. Then we are find out the abnormal average of the calculations. The abnormal calculations of the calculations means from calculating the average values from the abnormal events, that considering n number of data from x days. Then click average values. We can calculate the average values. That average values means what are the similarity find out from their abnormal events. Then these values are loaded in the database. Then find out the similarity between the average events between the initial and final values which are followed in the data. That data are compressed, that can be evaluated. What are the events followed and their average values and their abnormal events. Then calculate the Pearson coefficient values. This evaluates that the difference between the average and the similar values between the average returns and the abnormal returns. Click values buttons. Correlation, that calculate the coefficient values. That values are viewed. Then we find out the optimal strategies between the abnormal events and the average events for the stock marketing. Click optimal strategies. Values, that these are the true values. These are sell signals. Sell signals means is the our negative values. These are the Boolean false, which means the average strategies between and average abnormal returns, which gives the profit and which gives the slow values. These are the performance evaluation between the existing and proposed system based on the events and impacts. What are the events involved in the process compared with the proposed system, and the impacts are greatly improved. Thank you.